Hey kids, you're back and I'm back and you're watching and I'm also watching. My eyes are open. Yeah, you're watching Guitar Quackery Live. This is the live streaming channel of Guitar Quackery. So it's gonna be long. No editing, but live switching, yes, but no editing. So you get to see everything, but it takes longer to watch through it. If you prefer produced content, where I just show you the highlights, just go to Guitar Quackery. That's another channel with a similar name. This is Guitar Quackery Live. The other channel is Guitar Quackery. This is Guitar Quackery, right? This. Yeah, so we service guitars here. And this is, oh, these are not my guitars. These are rental guitars because this is a music studio in Manhattan, Midtown. Bob Elliott's Music Makers NY, right? Premium music studio in Manhattan. So if you are local to this area, and if you are interested in music, playing music, yeah, come over. Check out the studios, check out the repair shop, which is right there. That's Guitar Quackery. Only one person works there so far, and that's me. And now I'm about to make a dramatic entrance. You'll see why. So I'm headed over to the workbench, and we have this, the humidifier. And we have this on the bench, guitar. And we have this. And what is this? Well, this is the, dental curing light. So, why am I showing you this? Well, if you missed, so you are watching now what part are you watching? Part 3? So if you missed part 2, you missed something good, because I was repairing this nut here, this nut, on this Fender, a 1984 Fender, not Strat, Telecaster, and I was using dental composite fillings to repair the A string slot and also the B string slot. Now, I'm going to put strings on, and I'm going to check if the E string slot also needs to be fixed. And if it does, you'll get to see how I do it. But I don't think I need to fix it. I think it'll work. First thing I'll do is I'll put these strings on. The strings are the Dario XS coated strings. How do you know they're XS, the Dario strings? Because you can see these ball ends, you know, so that's the new coating system. Coding, not coating, coding. Color coding system that Dario is using now on XS strings. So they still use the old system with a rainbow colors, right, on other strings, but on XS they use this system. So if you are restringing a guitar and you look at the ball ends of the strings, you see this, you know that those are the Dario XS coated strings. Coated. They have a coating, right? Not coded, as in color coded, but they are color coded, kind of. Right. It's late and it's Saturday, and I'm tired, hungry, horny, and I'm still working. Okay. We are going to put these strings on the guitar. So it's a Tele It is a Fender, but it's a 1984 Fender Tele. So playing back, you don't see the little ferrules because the strings don't go through the body on this particular model. It's a rear loading bridge plate. Now, very important detail. These strings have a coating, and I can show you the coating through this high-powered optical microscope. Let's just lay the string on the fingerboard. Okay, and let's have a look at the string, because there's something important I need to tell you about stringing this bridge with these strings. I'll show you some close-ups. These are, first of all, they're expensive strings. Well, kind of. $15 a pack, but worth every penny. And by the way, the Dario isn't sponsoring this. Nobody paid me to say this. This is just my opinion. This is the string. You can see the coating. It's a membrane that is wrapped around the string. And in fact, you can see how the wrapper is overlapping in this direction. You see the little hint that it's overlapping here and here, right? So it's like a very thin, I guess I could call it a membrane. I don't know what to call it. But it's very thin. Oh, here you can clearly see it. All right? So this is what you're paying for. You're paying for the coating. So you actually never touch the metal, right? You never touch the string when you play. But this coating is very thin, so it can be damaged. And why am I saying this? Well, because when you put the strings through the back of the bridge plate, it's a very tight space here. So let's see. You see how tight it is? Yeah. So now I'll be cutting off this part of the string anyway. So if you just go like this, you are ripping this coating off the string. So just go gently and it'll be fine. Okay, so that's something that I didn't think of right away when I started using these strings, and it just occurred to me, hey, I'm damaging the coating on the strings. And I'm sure that some other technicians maybe haven't realized yet that they should be gently putting the strings through the bridge plate if it's a rear loading bridge plate, right? Because it's a tighter situation with a rear loading bridge plate than a string through, okay? Same with acoustic guitars, such as Ovation or Breed Love, that have a rear loading acoustic guitar bridge. Do it gently so that you don't damage the coating on the strings. So the electric XS strings are $15 a pack currently. The acoustic XS strings are $20 a pack. And that's, you know. Now, the 3 wound strings have the type of coating that I just showed you. These strings are the plain strings. They have a different type of coating. Now, when I talk to customers, I usually say they are vapor coated, and that's not really accurate. They're not vapor coated. It's a liquid coating that's applied, and then it dries on the string. So this is a different coating, different properties, but you still don't want to damage it, so I'm still doing it gently. Okay. Normally, when I don't need to really worry about, damaging the coating, I will just take 2 strings at once, like this, and then put both strings through. And like I just said, with these, they have a different coating, but I'm still doing it gently. Okay, so that's a rear loading bridge plate, Telecaster. The Telecaster was named after television. Yeah, because television was a popular new invention back in the day. In 1954, was it? What? I can't remember. 52, yeah. I'm not a good guitar historian. Okay. Before I put the strings on, I want to make sure that the bushings are not loose. We don't want them to be too tight. So I always check. This is a 10mm socket wrench. Just, just check. I'm just checking. And I might have already checked this, but this means that now I am, in fact, double checking. If you excuse me, I just noticed that a text message came in, I believe. No, it was some kind of alert. It wasn't a text message. Okay. No problem. Oh, I forgot to send the link to the customer. So I'm copying the link here. Let me text him. The owner of this guitar. And I dictate usually. Streaming now. Period. And here I just copy and paste the link. Oh, my mic was on. Dictation was on. And then I just send it. Like that. All right. So whoever's watching now, I believe, the 2 of you, 2 people watching, you are probably just subscribers to this channel. I don't know. Maybe one of you is the owner. Yeah. Okay. So this is a new channel. It's not monetized yet. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. So if you are enjoying this type of content and you want to catch me live, please subscribe. And if you like it, please like it. And if you don't like it, oh, he said tuning in. Okay, so there are 2 viewers now, so I guess I will see a 3rd viewer in a minute, within a few seconds. What was I saying? I forgot. Oh yeah, you can like, share, and subscribe. That's an option. Oh yeah, and if you don't like it, you gotta find another channel. So don't put the thumbs down, please. I'm just doing my job here. I'm not really producing content right now, but I'm just making this available. Good night, doctor. So it's all locked upstairs?
Yeah.
So did you fix that? You managed to fix it?
Yeah.
Cool. All right. I'll see you next week. Okay. Now I am left alone. Just me and the guitar. And the humidifier. And the phone. And the four of you. Okay. Where was I? Well, I just wanted to switch the camera, right, like that. So, I don't need this anymore. I already took care of the frets in part 1 of this playlist. Oh yeah, so the first thing is I turn all the tuners so that the tuning posts are all facing the same way. Okay? Right, just like that. And let me think. So 2 string trees. When I put strings on a guitar, I don't necessarily always put strings on in the same way on every guitar. So on this guitar, now I look down to see if the break angle across the nut is too severe between the nut and the low E tuning post. Because if it is too severe, you get a little hump between the nut and the first fret, so you get that arching effect, and we don't want that. And yeah, so I will use this method. I'll show you. This neck also has a micro tilt. So put it through. So that hole is oriented like this. Okay, so not like this. What is this, like 11 o'clock? Okay. Okay, and now here I measure the string height, I mean the slack over the 12th fret. And now I am going to lock it. And I want this to go above this little loop so that I reduce the break angle across the nut. Because if you loop it too many times, you increase the break angle, and the thick string is kind of, you know, then arching here, and we don't want that. So that's how I put it in this case. Now the A string is similar. I put it through, make sure it's seated, and now I take my measurement here at the 12th fret. Different measurement, different height. I'll do a tutorial on that. And now, again, I do this and I hold. And on this one, because it's a thinner string, I go under and then over and then in between. Pull it. Lock it. And this way, we improve the tuning stability. And this goes up here, right? So I only end up with a quarter turn or half turn, active half turn or quarter turn. And I have 2 loops underneath. Okay. Now, here's a string tree. So I could do a hybrid stringing where these 2 are like this and these are then going down. I could do that, or I could just continue like that. So let me think. I haven't decided yet. Yeah. Let's do hybrid. That's because of the string trees. Let me see. So once again, now I look from the side. Yeah. Okay. So here is a different measurement again. Oh, I gotta put it through. Different measurement. Like that. And now immediately I lock it. And now it's going to be looped under. And that's just because we have the string tree here. If that makes sense. It's easier to explain in person. It's easier to explain when I'm teaching someone and they're doing it. And, you know, here I need to move on with this, so I don't want to keep changing the camera angles. It's going to take forever. Once again, different measurement. I talked about this in another live stream, and I am going to do a tutorial on this for the main channel, which is why, brings me to an important point. If this is the type of content you're interested in, you should check out the main channel, which is called Guitar Quackery, which isn't this channel. This channel is called Guitar Quackery Live. I keep it separate. The reason why I keep it separate, well, one of the reasons is because people who subscribed already to my main channel, they subscribed to a different type of content. So I don't want to dump live streams on them and confuse my existing subscribers. But all of the existing subscribers still have the option to subscribe to this channel, which is I call it the auxiliary channel of Guitar Quackery. Here, last one goes through. Also, because there's a string tree, we are wrapping it down, not up, okay? Like I said, I will do eventually a full tutorial on this issue for the main channel. And I will explain in detail why I do it this way sometimes. So here we did a hybrid method, meaning we combined 2 methods. One method for the low E and for the A, and another kind of similar method for the other 4 strings. I recycle strings, so these are the string ends, the fragments, and here's my recycling bin. All right. Well, the guitar looks better with strings on, right? That's good. Like I said at the beginning, this is not a string through Tele. It's a 1984 with this type of bridge plate and these saddles. I am going to adjust the saddles, the heights a little bit. I want to raise them up a little bit higher. I need my screwdrivers. So I have here a set of hex screwdrivers. I don't know, what do you call this? So the red ones are imperial inches. The blue ones are metric. It's made in USA. I would assume I need to use one of the red ones. This is too big. Maybe this one. No, too small. 51,007 inch. 5/64. That's really confusing for me. 1/16. Kind of confusing. Well, no, I think let's use a metric. 1.5 millimeters. Yeah, fits perfectly. Look at that. Okay, so now we know. 1.5. So it's a made in USA Fender, but it uses a metric screws, I guess, for the saddles. I just want to raise them a little bit to get a little more stability over the saddles, a little more break angle. I will raise them higher than I think they should be. Oh, this scale length should be 25.5 inches. Let's check. Always check. It isn't always the same. 25.5, yeah. And now let me check the positions of the saddles. So before I put string tension on, I want to drive the saddles back a little bit. So these strings are now still very loose. Let's drive them back a little bit. Let me check this one, and I will just kind of eyeball. Oh, what am I doing here? The compensation. So based on where the high E string will be, I move the other two back a little bit. Okay, so now when we dial in the compensation, we are going to be moving the saddles into this direction. And now the G, let's measure this one. Yeah, just a little further back, just like I thought. So there are several reasons why, it's generally a good idea to do this. So the strings are going to get kinked a little bit at this point where they cross the saddles. So we want the little kinks to end up behind the saddles, not in front, if possible. Yeah. So these saddles, all 6 of them now, are kind of further back than where I think they're going to end up. And I might be wrong. And sometimes I am wrong. So now we want to raise them. This increases the brake angle, which means that the saddles are, first of all, you bury those little screws so they don't scratch your hand. And also, a little increased brake angle puts more pressure between the threads, and those screws are less likely to move due to the vibrations caused by the vibrating strings. That's that. The action is now a little bit too high, I believe. Yeah, for sure. And that's what I want for the time being, for now. Okay. I forgot what radius this is. I believe 12 inch. Was it 12 or 14? Something like that. I believe 12 inch. Let's check. That's a 12-inch radius gauge. It looks like a match. I checked a couple of frets by eye. Now with a feeler gauge, it doesn't fit through between the fret and the feeler gauge in the middle. Let's check the 2 sides. Yeah, so it's a 12-inch radius fingerboard, fretboard, and the frets. Let's put it here. 12-inch radius. Okay. Now we can start tuning the guitar. The guitar's right here. Yeah, I just realized you won't hear anything unless I turn on this microphone. And I keep it off usually because it also picks up all the noise. I have a humidifier here, but let me just turn it on so you can hear the ambient sounds. This neck has a micro tilt adjustment also. It uses, well, I think it should be using a 1/8 of an inch truss rod key. Yeah, I'll show you later. Which is the same one used for the truss rod, yeah, but the other end of it. Okay. We just want to be like roughly in tune. First thing I'll check is the nut. Where's my magnifying glass? Oh, here. Okay, most of the string slots are too high. Interestingly, the B string that I filled with a filling, and I already filed it using the Hasco step gauge method. And by the way, I put a link to in the description, and also a link in the description of the previous live stream, which is part 2. You're watching part 3. A Hasco step gauge is an awesome thing. I'll be using it now. Yeah, so let's just get to work. Yeah, I just hope I don't break any strings. So normally, you know, we technicians, the guitar techs, would, oh no, let me focus this first. We would, you know, take the string on and off, on and off, on and off, and measure this little gap that remains after we push the string against the 2nd fret to you know, perfect the height of the string slot. Well, with the Hasco step gauge, you can measure. You shouldn't rely on it 100%, but you can measure that height when the string is off, and then just put the string on for the final little adjustment. That's the idea. So here I have, those are 10 to 46 strings, and this is too high. I can quickly measure it, although there's no need to measure it. I can see that this is very high. So let me just do this, measure the height of the fret, like right here. So you need to measure the height of the fret right beneath the string. It's 1.1 here. Here is 1.2. I measured it before. I think if there's too much noise now because of this camera microphone, I'll turn it off. And the height of this is 1.31. So yeah, I don't want to risk it too much with this, so I will just hit it a little bit. And I will use the string method, not the Hasco step gauge on this one already, because it's higher, but it's already past that comfort zone, I guess. And here I need to reposition it to show you a close-up through the microscope. We have this here. This is it. You can see this string going through, and you can see how I file it. But now, from the side, I want to first check a quick tap test, just a little bit lower. I'm really smoothing it out. I'm not really pushing down when I'm close to my target height. I think this is already good. So we can tune it a little bit higher in pitch, just to make sure that it pushes this back up when we take a measurement. So this is a really good height here for this string. So just to show to the camera, I push down against the second fret, and what remains is, hold on, this much. 4/100ths of a millimeter of this height. That's good. On this one, it looks a little higher than I want it to be. So I am going to use a 36 gauge file for this, which is this one. This is a string slot with a filling. So you can see the filling there. We had to widen, I'm sorry, the string slot was too wide, so we had to repair the two sides. So I am filing through the dental composite filling right now. And it still looks a little high. So I just want to do this quickly without talking too much, I guess. I think this is it. Important to clean the files. Oh yeah, this is really low now. I don't even feel like measuring it, to be honest with you, because it's so low. I can barely see a gap. And sometimes, unless you tune the string higher in pitch, it doesn't even push the plunger back up, okay? Because of the weight of the plunger when it's so close. But there is a gap there, which I can show you with the onion skin feeler gauge, which is this one here. That's always good to check anyway. This is really thin. So I push it against the second fret, like that, and you can see there is a little gap, microscopic gap. Okay, now let's check the D. Yeah, I mean, it's very close, but I am going to touch it up a little bit. Okay. It seems to be a little bit higher than the A string. And now I can hear how it's hitting the fret, and you can see that there is a gap, right? And it's minimal. It's so minimal, I bet this is not even going to show it. So we push against the second fret. Oh, just a little bit. You see that? About 1/100th of a millimeter, maybe 2/100th of a millimeter, right? So now that's exactly what we want. And now we move on to the G string. It's pretty close, but you know, it is visibly higher. And that's going to be a 17 gauge file. Let me put this one away. That's the previous one. Where did I put it? Here. Okay. It's a little bit dirty at the bottom, so that's also going to clean up the surface. There. Yeah, I don't want to do too much because it is close to where it needs to be. Quick visual inspection, a little too high. Here I'm literally just using the weight of this file just to remove the scratches. Obviously, by removing the scratches, you are removing material, and it might be just enough. And this looks perfect. Once again, this inspection shows that there's a gap. Let's see if we can even detect a gap with this. Probably want to tune it higher a little bit. Let's see. Just that little gap when I do this. Okay, so this is perfect. And now the B string is a string slot that I fixed using the dental composites. Now I see that I had a few viewers and now I have less. So I forgot to mention, you know, you can always click the like button if you like it. And if you don't, you got to find another channel. From now on, that's what I'll keep saying. Yeah, there's plenty of other channels that you might like if you don't like this one. So okay, 13 gauge file, which is right here. That's the 13 gauge file. I don't want to mix them up. That's the 36. We're almost done with the nut, and we're already done with the frets. Then we'll just finish the setup, and that should be quick. Okay. Let's check. Like I said, this looks... Oh, I'm not going to touch this at all. Look, there's a little gap. Look, you see how the little dial is moving a little bit when I do this? So it's almost at 0. And I was lucky because I filed this without the strings on. I filed it using, you know, the Hasco step gauge, which is what I'm going to use on this one, because this one is way higher than it should be, and I'll show you this measurement. Okay, so touch down, 2nd fret, and look at that humongous gap. So obviously we need to file it, and I am going to first use the Hasco step gauge. First I'll measure the height of the fret. 1. A little less than 1.1 millimeters, and the height here is 1.3. But you can't rely on this because this is assuming that the fingerboard is true, and it might not be. So within the safe zone, it's a great thing to use this. But as soon as you approach the danger zone, you got to switch to this method. Oh, I forgot to show you the close-up. So as you can see, I just removed some material. Okay, and now just clean up, and let's have a look with the Hasco step gauge. So we are at 1.2. You see this 1.2, and then if we move over to this step, now we have the situation where this bottom part is wiggling. So here it's steady, and we are at 1.2, about there. Let's put the string back and have a look. So I can see that it went lower, but I can see that it's still too high. Is this the right one? Yeah, okay. And this string slot is filed a little bit at an angle like this. But you know what? It's really not going to affect the performance of the guitar. So I thought maybe I would fill it. I really don't need to do that, because I would have to remove more material from both sides to make it a straight channel. And I think we keep it like this for now. Okay, I gotta be really careful here. Too high? Well, too high for my taste. And this looks good. It still looks higher than the B string. If you're eyeballing it, it's good to compare. Because memory might play tricks on you. Long-term memory. But when you compare it to what's in front of you using short-term memory. Right now I check the B and check the E, and I see that it's, wow, probably the same. Once again, I just want to show you, since we're using this method in this live stream, so why don't we? Again, against the 2nd fret, there's a gap that remains, and now let's take a measurement of that gap. On the side of the fingerboard, it's really difficult sometimes. Okay, 2nd fret. You see that little motion? That's this gap. And, this is what we see. And it's, you know, decent. I'm going to call it good. We're done with the nut. Okay. All right. We lost one viewer. I think I know why. Let me put the files away. Well, the last remaining file. These are Music Nomad files. There's a link below. Amazon affiliate link that pays me money at no extra cost to you. Amazon requires that affiliates disclose this with this full disclosure. So if you are interested in this type of work, I will tell you which tools I like. In this case, I am mentioning Music Nomad tools a lot in these live streams, but I'm not affiliated with them. Maybe I should be. I don't know. But it's a non-sponsored comment. It's my own opinion. Okay, so now we'll do the setup. Okay, a little bit of sound for you. Where's the pick here? Okay. And the first thing I'll do is, now that the knot is good, the truss rod adjustment. Okay. And then, well, the action. Okay. I will be using this. So let me put this away. Let me put this away. I will be using this. Okay. So this is a Fender 1/8 of an inch long. Where do I put it here? This is longer than on a regular standard Allen key. Okay, and this is very important. That's the only one that should be used like this here on the Fender. Otherwise you will damage this plug, most likely, right? So this is Fender. They come with Fender guitars, or you can also buy them on Amazon. And speaking of Amazon, I guess I should put a link to this. Right, so this fits inside here. It's a Biflex truss rod. What does this mean? Biflex is like it's like the Fender version of a two-way truss rod. there's a plug like this. Now, if you think of a Fender truss rod, this is a Fender truss rod like this. So when you tighten it, there's a whatever it's called, right? When you're tightening it, this is pushing against this metal part, which is anchored in the wood of the neck. And if you need to crank it up counterclockwise, then it'll be pushing against this plug, okay? And it'll try to extend this truss rod, and it'll attempt to put an up bow on the neck, okay? So I always measure my relief on the bench with the neck rest close to the heel of the neck, so that I'll add additional relief. So I always do it like this on every guitar, so that's my reference point. And I know that the relief will change a little bit when you put the guitar in playing position, but if I always measure it like this, that's how I do it on every guitar. That's my reference point. So these frets are even. We already know this, right? Which is important when you are using this method to measure the relief of the neck. So. Maybe I won't even need to adjust it. Okay, look at that. This is 5/1000ths of an inch going through 5. Okay. And on the other side, I skipped this one 6, this one 8. 8 goes through, but not the next one, right? So we have 5/1000ths of relief, 8/1000ths of relief, and this is great. We have a differential relief, a little more relief on the bass side, and I couldn't be happier. So, especially because I don't even need to adjust the truss rod now. I need to check my previous live stream, like part 1, I guess. Maybe I already adjusted it with the old strings or something. I don't know. I can't remember. Or maybe I didn't, and it's just like that. In any case, it's good. Now, let me measure the action. And for the playing position alignments, I like to use this, okay? So that I can do this. Okay, on this side I have 78 in height, which is perfect. And on this side I have 65. I want to lower it down to 60. And I don't even think that I will need to do the neck tilt adjustment, which is done, by the way, using the same Fender truss rod wrench, but usually the other side you can use it. So let me make sure that it is tight at this point, okay? Oh, it really wasn't, and it needs to be tight. So, excuse me. So, these screws need to be tight. The micro tilt adjustment is a great thing, by the way. I don't know when they came up with this, but it's a great thing, right? So this is tight. Now this is all stable. So now, with the neck joint stable, now I can reliably measure and dial it in. Okay, so I'm gonna put it at 60, 1/1000 of an inch, height on the 12th fret. This is it. That's 60. Maybe just a little tweak. No, now I went too low. Okay. Okay. Should have just left it there. Yeah, that's 60. 1/1000 of an inch on the 12th fret. So first thing I want to know is if I can bend the string without fretting out. And I'm not worried because it is a 12-inch radius. If it was 9.5 or a smaller radius or below, I would be, you know, really wanting to make sure that it doesn't fret out. But I don't expect it to fret out with a 12-inch radius. Okay, that's that. So even I just dialed it in, you know, by eye, it feels okay the way it plays. With a 12-inch radius, you can go below 60, by the way. But I see no need. Let me just double check. That's 60. All right. Now I take this here. And so that you can hear it better, actually, I will do this. I will turn off this mic and plug it into the audio interface. So I will be listening to the guitar acoustically. And if I push this button, you should be hearing it through the audio interface. Because I would need headphones to hear this now, right? But all right, I think this is good. So yeah, I have this setup. I have this thing. This is a 12-inch radius gauge underneath the strings, and I want to make sure that these two strings are the only strings touching the top of the radius gauge. You can hear that it's buzzing against the radius gauge, right? And this string, same thing. And the other strings should be above, so they play a clear sound. And now, let's make the adjustments. First the A string, maybe. You play it and lower the action. Okay, and now I want to check. I just look like this to make sure that the saddle is parallel to the bridge plate. It's a little bit lopsided, so I'm just going to make this minor adjustment. So I need to raise this a bit. Well, this is actually good, right? And now I do the same on the B. I'm using my left hand and I messed up. It's turning in the wrong direction. And now let's check. This needs to go up, and this needs to go down, possibly. Okay. G. Okay. Okay, so you heard the buzz, and I actually feel the vibrations through the handle of the radius gauge. Now, again, I want to do like a visual inspection, and I can see that this saddle here is tilted. So this needs to go up, and this needs to go down. So I make a quick adjustment and then check again. This needs to go up. This one should go down. Okay, that's good. I think the B needs to be tweaked a little bit. Let's try that. Okay. So this one, okay. I think it's good. We'll survive. That's that. Okay, so the radius now matches. The bridge radius matches the fret radius. We don't need this anymore, and we don't need this anymore, so I put it here before I lose it. And yeah, so next thing is the intonation adjustment. Well, let me just put the tuner on. I use GarageBand. It's got a fantastic tuner. It does the trick. Even I think it's better than the Peterson strobe tuner because it shows me what how many cents it's off. So what I do is I start GarageBand on my computer, and then I put the tuner on my screen over here, which you can't see because I don't have the camera there. But I can see it, and now I do this in playing position. And I just look at the tuner. So I was expecting it to intonate a bit flat. I also need to lubricate the nut. I don't like how the tuners are responding. The nut and the string trees. Yeah, flat, which means I need to move the saddle towards the nut, which was what I was planning on. Okay, now I skip the B, I do the G. Flat. Okay, and now I visually place the B where I think it should be between the E and the G. Maybe perhaps a little bit on the flat side. And I check. Yeah, so it's a little bit flat. So sorry I can't show you the tuner on screen, and now it's right on. And now I do the D and the E. So I know the D is going to be flat. I can see that against the G. So let me just move it forward a little bit, just a touch. It's still a little bit flat. And we're almost done with this guitar. Right on. And now the E, I'm sure it's going to play flat, but let me just. Yeah, a little bit flat. you know, I wonder with all the auto-tune capabilities, is it even important to have good intonation on the guitar, or can we just fix it in post when we're recording? And now I do the A visually first, just like I did on the B. It's in tune. It's so close. Okay, that should do it. Like 1 or 2 cents. And if you see that something's visually off with the saddles, when you actually dial in the intonation, then maybe something's wrong with the string. I actually have a video about that. The intonation mystery, something like that, on the main channel. You should watch it. It's interesting. Interesting. It's fascinating. Okay, so I can't really hear the guitar because, again, I'm not using headphones. So I am going to turn off the sound and quit GarageBand. Okay, I just did. And now I'll turn on this sound, this mic, which is this. Do I need to point in this direction? Maybe it helps. And I'll plug the guitar into the amp. Okay, like that. I kind of already set up the pickups where I think they should be, so maybe, you know, I don't need to do anything. So the bridge pickup is much hotter than the neck pickup for sure, but I can't raise the neck pickup anymore. It's actually okay. I mean, it's a little louder. Position. I hear a little crackling, so we need to spray some deoxit. Yeah, well, I think I already did that, or maybe not. I don't know. Let's move the guitar here. Yeah, I remember opening this, I think. Yeah, I see some, you know, signs of aging, like metal corrosion or whatever. So let's take the air, compressed air first, blow out some of the metal corrosion. there's some inside here, inside this pot. The other side of the switch. Okay. I think that's better already. That's better already. It's like as it is, but I'm going to spray some deoxit anyway. Deoxit. I guess I could put a link for the spray as well. I'll try to remember to do that. Okay. No need to overdo this. Just a little bit. And we're done with this project. The oxide, by the way, can also be used to clean the guitar. So it's not going to damage the finish for sure. I'm not crazy about this wiring. It's not very neat. It's very tight also. A telly is, you know, a very simple diagram. It should just be very neat. So, let's see. We can always fix it later, at some other time in the future. Okay, no crackling at all. I hear some interference. I got equipment here, so, but yeah, clean. Okay, that's it. We are done with this project. This is it. Not a string through. Okay, my friends. Loud bass 3. Is this Roman numeral 3? Loud bass 3 says enjoying the live show. Thank you. And Randy, Dr. Randy. Now, I have a Dr. Randy Andy, different Randy. If you watch the main channel, Dr. Randy Andy is an author of many books that I feature on the main channel. Yeah. I bumped my Telecaster headstock today. Oh no. Notice slight chips at the edge of the nut. Oh wow, towards the tuning post side. Okay, better that way. In between the G and B and E strings, would it affect intonation? Towards, let me read this again, towards the tuning post side. No, right? So that's here. Okay, where's my pointy tool? Here it is. Where's my phone? My switcher is on the phone. Okay, so between these three strings, right, on this side, so there's material missing here, here, and here. This is my understanding. So this is the takeoff point of the string. The string starts vibrating from this point. Everything behind it is not going to affect the vibration of the string, right? So something here would need to be damaged for the intonation to be affected. I hope I understood correctly your question. Yeah, I think I did. All right, yeah, I wouldn't worry, but it's a bummer. Yeah, yeah, what can I say? So I wouldn't worry about that unless there's a hairline fracture extending through the knot to the other side. So you have a magnifying glass, you know, maybe you should examine. But I'm sorry this happened to you. Sorry to hear. Okay, kids, I am, just like I said at the beginning, tired. I don't think I'll be streaming anymore. I worked on how many guitars today? Actually, a few. Before this guitar, I worked on two guitars and one bass. I did setups. I wasn't streaming. I've been here for a while already today, and those weren't interesting, so there was no reason to stream. And I did have someone helping me with the fret polishing, actually. So yeah, under my full supervision. Loud Bass 3, working hard today. Yeah, every day. Thank you for asking, and thank you for dropping by. Okay, oh, I almost forgot. When I finish a project, I do this. Look. Sometimes I put the camera here, sometimes not. I put everything on the bench. I move away all the clutter, like my water bottle. And I put my logo on the screen, okay? And I take a picture. I take a picture and I text it to the customer. It's for the family album. Like this. Okay. This doesn't look good. Okay. So this is the picture. Now, let me show you the picture. Here it is, the picture that I just took. And you see, this, I just send it, right? But what I'm going to do is I'm going to write a little note first. And, you know, I sent the live streams to the customer links before, right? Those are the links. And here the customer says, awesome, tuning in. And here I write all done. And I send it, and it goes whoop, and that's it. So this is now also my business card. So when he shows it around, he's gonna say, oh yeah, and look at the camera, right? This was a live stream, and look at this, look at that, and the name is on the screen, Guitar Quackery. So this way, people hear about it. The Soul, Bauhaus, thumbs up, thank you. And Randy says, thank you. That answers my question. Yes, I wouldn't worry about that, but it's still a bummer that the nut is damaged. But at least it's the better one of the two evils that happened to you, okay? By far, okay? Okay, kids, I gotta go. I don't think I will be streaming tomorrow. Maybe I will. It's only 10:35. Maybe I will. I don't know. Thank you for watching. And if you liked it, do the thumbs up. If you didn't like it, go find another channel to watch. And that's it. Thank you. Bye-bye.